Hi everyone, Sandra here. I'm back. I know it's been a while since I uploaded a video, and that's because number one, I just felt like taking a break from it. It's kind of a conundrum and an irony that I really enjoy making these videos and creating things and sharing them, and at the same time, I'm kind of want to be a hermit. so I sort of try to balance that out, but I just felt like I wanted to take a break and that it would be good for me. I do this every once in a while, and if you've been around for a while, you know that because I've mentioned it before and have taken breaks before. Although not probably one that lasted quite as long as this one. I think I've been pretty absent from the whole YouTube channel and uploading here for about 5 weeks. There were a couple of videos that I uploaded, and we'll talk a little bit more about that here in a minute. But I'm back now, and the frequency of the videos here will be increasing once again and getting back to more like normal, or I don't even know if I should say normal, but the way they were before this break. And we will be showing you stuff with our truck camper build and traveling and just whatever, all the stuff that Dave and I do. For those of you who didn't realize it or weren't aware, Dave and I have been on a road trip. We took off around the first week of August, and it was a spur-of-the-moment thing. I think we decided to leave on this trip about 3 or 4 days before we left. The reason being, we were both kind of feeling burnt out with working on things around here, especially the truck camper, because we've been working on that thing every single day for months. And we, once again, were kind of underestimating the amount of time that it would take us. We figured that we would take off this summer and be able to go on a trip in the truck camper, but we were realizing that probably wasn't going to happen, and that summer was just slipping away right in front of us. August is notoriously a very warm month for Texas, and this year was no exception, so the only time we were being able to work on the truck camper was mornings and evenings. And we weren't being able to work on it in the mornings because mornings aren't good for Dave. It takes him a long time to get going because of his issues with chronic pain. I've talked a little bit about that in the past. Those of you following along for a while, I think that we've mentioned that a couple of times, that he's got issues and with his health and stuff. So the only time we were working on it was in the evenings, and we weren't getting much work done. So we figured if we wanted to go up into the mountains and stuff this summer, we better get going, and that we would just resume work on the truck camper when we got back. So I think we're about 75% at least done with the truck camper. All we have left to do is hook up the solar, which I don't think is going to take us very long. I mean, we have all the components, and before we left, we even went out there and kind of laid it all out, so we've sort of got our plan, if we can remember it now. And then we also have to do trim, like the final trim, to make everything look a little more polished, like so we can cover up all the cracks and things between pieces of paneling and stuff like that, just to make it look a little more finished in there. But that's it. So I would say the bulk of the work is completed. What are we going to do when we get the truck camper done? We've got a couple of ideas. I don't know if we're going to get back down to Mexico this winter, but we would like to kind of escape some of the cold that is inevitably going to come. Our trip, we did not take the truck camper, but we did take the truck, and it turned out to be a very good trial run for us of the truck. We have purchased a 2000 model F-350 Ford truck, and before this trip we hadn't taken any really long journeys in it, and so you just never know, the old saying, if it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen out there. Fortunately, the truck ran great. We had no mechanical problems. We did figure out a few little things, minor stuff that we feel like we should probably take care of before we take off in it in the truck camper, and this was a good shakedown cruise for us in it to figure those things out. The only bad thing that happened really with the truck while we were on this journey was we had a blowout on our way back. I'll put a picture in here of the tire. But we were just outside of Albuquerque, New Mexico, on our way back home on Interstate 40, going about 70 miles an hour down the interstate, and boom, the back rear tire on the driver's side just exploded. We think that we probably ran over something just by the look of the tire, because those tires, they still had good wear left on them. I mean, we could have made it home. When we got home, we were intending to get new tires for the truck anyway, just because probably a good idea. You're going to be putting the truck camper in it. But we just did it a little sooner than we thought, and we got to have all the fun of being on the side of the interstate and changing the tire with the spare. The spare was a little shady looking, so we were about 15 minutes from a Walmart that had a tire place, and we just went ahead and got the new tires, so we were good to go. The other bad thing that happened on this trip was that we lost one of our crew. Those of you watching the channel, you will know that one of the last videos that I did upload was my tribute to our little dog Tuff, and many of you sent your thoughts and condolences and well wishes on that video, and Dave and I really appreciate that. It was a super tough thing. It was a real low point in the trip, but we anticipated it, kinda. I mean, we knew that the day was fast approaching just based on the way Tuff was acting and his condition, and he was to the point where he really couldn't hardly even walk anymore, and he had a whole lot of other problems. And when we spent almost every single day of the last 17 years with this dog. There was some time in there where our work stuff was different, and we did spend a little more time apart from our dogs, but overall I'd say 90% of his life he was with one or the other of us 24/7. So you really get to know an animal, and he was our little buddy, even though he was pretty much a pain in the you-know-what for most of his life. He was our friend, and it was super hard. And those of you who've ever had to make a decision like that, to put your little friend down, whoa, like, there's no words. It's just horrible, and there's nothing that makes it easier. You just have to come to terms with it yourself. I mean, he wasn't enjoying his life anymore, and that's when we knew that it was time. So, but anyway, I really appreciate all of you that reached out during that time and were very thoughtful and stuff. It does kind of take a little bit of the sting out of it to feel like, you know, like you're not the only one, like other people understand, and it's a shared kind of a human experience. So what is the plan now that we're back? We are going to resume work on the truck camper and get that finished up, and we're going to figure out how to attach the truck camper to the truck and all of those things. We'll be doing videos on it, I am sure. Then this winter, when the camper is ready, take off on some trips, maybe down south here in Texas by the coast, in the areas that weren't greatly affected by this most recent hurricanes and all of that. Then next, like late spring, early summer, we kind of are thinking and hoping and wishing and maybe that we will head up towards Alaska, because that's a place that we both we want to go. I mean, we want to check it out. It's other people that I've seen that have gone there. It looks awesome. So right up our alley, and kind of that's the general plan. But really nothing is solidified. Nothing is 100% for sure yet. It's all kind of, we're playing it by ear, and we're coasting along here and just gonna let each day happen and deal with it as it comes at us. Dave, he's over here. Dave, say hi.
Hello.
He can't see him, but he's over here sitting in his chair. And both of us, we're both good. The house, everything back here at the casa was good when we got back home, so that's excellent. I appreciate all of y'all holding out and waiting for us to get back here with the videos and stuff, and I hope that you will like the stuff that we're going to be sharing. I did film a little bit while we were on this trip, so I might put some of that together and just give you kind of a brief snapshot of some of the highlights of our trip that we were on. That's about it for now, I guess. So until the next video gets uploaded, which I have no idea what it's going to be yet, but something, we'll see you then. Take care.